Welcome to the lecture on depreciation. So, in this lecture, as we had discussed earlier, there may be cases when you cannot get the exact value of salvage value using the declining balance method of depreciation. So, as we had seen in the earlier question, when you had the salvage value of 778, then using the declining balance and double the declining balance, that is DDB, you got exactly the value of 778. Now, in many cases you will not get the 778, you are given a salvage value other than 778. So, you cannot get using that DDB method the same value. So, you will have to adjust the declining balance method of depreciation. So, it is written that if the final book value is not equal, in that case you need to do certain adjustment, so that final book value equals the final salvage value. That is what our aim is. It can be done either by switching to straight line method at appropriate time or by simple adjustment towards the end period. So, let us see if we have the question like this, where you have to use the DDB depreciation schedule for this data given. First cost is 10,000 rupees and is 5 years and final salvage value as rupees 2000. In that case, as we see, you have year, then you have depreciation charge during year and book value at the end of year. So, this is for the data P is 10,000, N is 5 and the salvage value is 2000. So, what we see is in the first year the depreciation charge using DDB schedule. So, using DDB schedule, your rate of depreciation is 2 times 1 by 5, that is 40%. So, during the first year the depreciation charge will be 40% of 10,000, that is 4,000, and your book value at the end of first year is 6,000. In the second year it will be 40% of the book value at the end of first year. So, 6,000, that is 2,400 and this is 3,600. In the third year you have 40% of 3,600, that is 1,440 and this comes out to be 2,160. Now, it is given that your salvage value has to be 2000. If we go for the depreciation during the fourth year at the same rate, if we calculate 40% of 2160, that is 864, and then it comes out to be 1296. Now, this 1296 is less than 2000, which is the salvage value. Now, the book value under the tax schemes, the book value at the end of any year cannot be less than the salvage value which is mentioned. So, this will not work in this is to be adjusted. So, it is to be adjusted. So, actually during the 4th year, the only amount which is left is 160, then only you can get 2000. So, in the 4th year your depreciation will be only rupees 160, so that you get the charge of 2000 as the book value at the end of 4th year, and during the 5th year your depreciation will be 0 and the book value at the end of 5th year will be 2000, and this is nothing but the salvage value which is given at the end of its life. So, this is how we adjust the salvage value to be 2000, and this is the depreciation schedule which should be followed. Now, let us see a case in which the estimated salvage value is given as 0. So, basically using the declining balance method of depreciation, which is calculated as a certain fraction times the first cost of the asset or the book value of the asset at any time. So, we can never achieve 0. So, basically you have to switch to straight line method so that you come to a value of 0. So, that is known as switching to straight line method. So, switching occurs when next period's straight line depreciation amount on the undepreciated balance of the asset exceeds the next period's declining balance depreciation charge. So, basically when to go for switching? So, basically switching is practiced when it is seen that at this period, if you calculate the depreciation charge based on the life remaining of the asset using the straight line method and using the declining balance method or double declining balance of method, in that case whichever is larger that should be taken. So, declining balance depreciation when it is less than the straight line depreciation on undepreciated balance, in that case you go for switching to straight line. Now, we know that using the declining balance method during the 10th year the amount of depreciation is alpha times the book value at the end of t minus 1th year, and for that time the straight line method of depreciation will calculate the depreciation charge as this. So, once you find, you have to calculate the depreciation charge using the declining balance method as well as using the straight line method, and at the time you see that the straight line method of depreciation gives you larger value of depreciation, you have to switch. So, this is known as switching method to straight line depreciation type. Let us see an example where this is the example of switching. So, in that you have to use the DDB method of depreciation for P as rupees 10,000, you have N as 5 years and final salvage value is given as 0. Now, in this case using the normal double declining balance method of depreciation, which was coming out to be 778. So, that was the book value. So, book value is more than the estimated salvage value. So, in this case basically you have to switch to the straight line method. How to switch? So, let us see, you have the year and you calculate the depreciation charge using double declining balance method and using straight line method. then you will find the type of depreciation adopted and your book value at the end of year. Now, let us say during the first year, now if we say 0 year, at the end of year you have value as 10,000. So, during the first year, if we calculate the double declining balance, your rate of depreciation using DDB is 40%. So, in the first year it will be 40% of 10,000. So, it will be 4,000. If we calculate the straight line method of depreciation, the straight line method of depreciation tells that amount of depreciation will be 10,000 minus 0 and you have 5 years of life left. So, it will be 10,000 minus 0 by 5, that is 2,000. So, you see that the amount of depreciation is more using double declining balance method, and that is why you go for this one and use this is DDB, and your book value will be 10,000 minus 4,000. So, it will be 6,000. Now, in the second year, so now in the second year using double declining balance method, this will be 40% of 6,000. So, it will be 2,400. Now, at this time the book value is 6,000 and the remaining life is 4 years. So, using the straight line method, the amount of depreciation will be 6,000 minus 0 by 4, that is 1,500. What we see is that still the amount of depreciation calculated using the DDB is larger, and that is why we still go for the double declining balance method of depreciation, and the book value at the end of year 2 will be 3,600. So, there is no need of switching at present. Let us go to the third year. During the third year our book value is 3,600. So, using the double declining balance method, it will be 40% of 3,600. So, it will be 1,440. Now, if we take the straight line method, we have 3 more years of life left. So, using straight line method, your amount of depreciation will be 3,600 minus 0 by 3, that is 1,200. So, we still see that the amount of depreciation using the DDB is still larger, and that is why we will further go to DDB, and our book value will be 2,160. Now, we will go to 4th and 5th year. During the 4th year, we have the book value at the end of 3 year is 2,160. So, using double declining balance method of depreciation, 40% of 2,160. So, it is 864. Now, we have 2 more years of left. So, using straight line method of depreciation, the depreciation charge will be 2,160 minus 0 by 2, that is 1080. What we see is that at this juncture the amount of depreciation calculated using double declining balance method is smaller than that calculated using the straight line method. So, this is the time we will switch over to this straight line method, and this is known as switching to straight line method. So, your book value will be 2160 minus 1080, that will be 1080. Once we switch to straight line method, automatically if we calculate the amount of depreciation using DDB and using the straight line method, we will see that this value of depreciation calculated using straight line method will be always larger. So, basically we will move to straight line method. We have only 1 year left. In that year we have 1080 as the depreciation charge, and finally we will use the straight line method and we will have the book value as 0. So, basically we achieve the book value of 0 at the end of 5th year, that is your salvage value. So, this is an example how to adjust the depreciation schedule by switching to straight line from declining balance, and this is basically used while we go for calculating the amount of depreciation in certain tax depreciation methods. So, we will see that in many cases we have to solve the problems of similar type, and we have to switch at the appropriate time when we calculate the two values of depreciation and find how the value of final salvage value has to be matched at the end. Next, the method of depreciation which we will discuss is sum of years digits method. So, sum of years digit method, basically it is also a type of accelerated method where the depreciation charge during the early time is larger, and as we move ahead the charge of depreciation slows down, it decreases. In this case, sum of years digits means the sum of the number of years from 1 to that year that is calculated, and that comes in the denominator. So, as you see it is a fraction in which denominator is SOYD. SOYD is sum of years digit method. So, if n is the life of the asset in years, in that case sum of years digit is nothing but 1 plus 2 plus up to n. So, we know that this value is nothing but n into n plus 1 by 2. Now, this will be in the denominator and the numerator is n for the first year, n minus 1 for the second year, and so on. So, basically what we see is dt, it is given as n minus t plus 1 by SOYD into present cost minus final salvage value. So, if you see depreciation charge during first year, so n equal to 1, is t equal to 1. So, in that case d1 will be, if you put t equal to 1 here, it will be n upon SOYD, that is n into n plus 1 by 2 into P minus F. So, similarly D2 will be n minus 1 upon n into n plus 1 by 2 into P minus F. So, this way you go and you can find in the final nth year it will be nothing but 1 by n into n plus 1 by 2 into P minus F. So, if you calculate, suppose you are given P as rupees 10,000, F as rupees 2,000, n as 5 years, depreciation schedule using SOYD method. So, if suppose you have to calculate this, we know that SOYD will be n into n plus 1 by 2. So, that is 5 into 6 by 2, 15. So, depreciation charge during first year, during year 1 will be 5 upon 15 into 10,000 minus 2,000. So, it will be 5 upon 15 into 8,000. So, 8,000 by 3, 2667 rupees. Depreciation charge during year 2. So, it will be 4 upon 15 into 10,000 minus 2,000. So, it will be 32,000 upon 15. So, this will be like you can calculate the depreciation charge during year 1 year 5, basically it will be nothing but 1 upon 15 into 10,000 minus 2,000. So, it will be 8,000 by 15. So, this is how you calculate the depreciation charge for this method SOYD. We will have other methods of depreciation. The next method of depreciation is units of production method. Now, many a times we buy a machine which has certain capacity to produce. So, the depreciation calculated during any year will be based on how much it produces. So, in that case the depreciation charge during any year t will be units consumed during year t multiplied by P minus F divided by total units of production. So, basically it is applicable for those machines where basically the depreciation is because of wear and tear of the machine elements. Now, in that case larger the machine will be used for production runs, larger will be its depreciation, and smaller we run it, smaller we produce, smaller will be the depreciation charges. So, we can see one example how can we solve if you have such cases. So, if we are given an example that a lathe is there, can machine about 1 lakh units in its estimated life of 5 years. it has first cost given as rupees 50,000 and salvage value at the end of its life as rupees 10,000. Now, in this case, if during the first year about 40,000 units are machined, find depreciation charge during the year and book value at the end of year. So, suppose we deal with similar cases where the capacity is given, first cost and salvage value is given, life is given. In that case, basically the unit of production method will be used. Now, in this case, basically the lathe machine is designed on an average to work for 1 lakh by 5, that is 20,000 units. Now, in that case it has machined about 40,000 units. So, basically in this case depreciation charge will be calculated as units consumed during the year, that is 40,000 multiplied by the present cost minus final salvage value. So, it is 1 lakh minus, so present cost is, sorry, it is 50,000 and its salvage value is given as 10,000 and the total units of production, that is its capacity 1 lakh units, it will be divided. So, it will be 40,000 multiplied by 40,000 divided by 1 lakh. So, it is 16,000. So, 16,000 is the depreciation charge. So, depreciation charge during year 1 is rupees 16,000 and the book value at the end of year 1 will be, you have book value of 50,000 initially. So, 50,000 minus 16,000, that is rupees 34,000. So, this 34,000 will be the book value of the assets. So, that is how you calculate the depreciation charge units of production method. Thank you.